Portland Trail Blazers versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers welcome the Portland Trail Blazers to Crypto.com Arena for an early season clash between two Western Conference teams charting different paths. The Lakers, 2-1, 1-1 at home, are seeking to build momentum after a strong start, while the Trail Blazers, 1-2, 0-1 away, aim to rebound from consecutive losses and stabilize their footing in the Northwest Division. Portland currently sits fifth in their division, trailing an undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder squad, while the Lakers, tied with the Clippers for second in the Pacific, look to tighten their grip on a competitive early race. The matchup offers an intriguing contrast, an established contender in Los Angeles facing a Portland team leaning heavily on youth and transition. For Portland, early season inconsistency has been defined by defensive lapses despite explosive scoring. The Blazers average a robust 126.5 points per game on 47% shooting, but have allowed too many open looks, resulting in narrow defeats. Meanwhile, Los Angeles has displayed better balance, averaging 118.5 points while limiting opponents with improved rim protection and disciplined rotations. The Lakers' veteran experience and depth have carried them through close finishes, most notably in a 127-120 win over Sacramento. Injuries could heavily shape the evening's narrative. Portland is still without Robert Williams III, knee, and rookie Scoot Henderson, ankle, both sidelined through early November, while star guard Damian Lillard remains out indefinitely. That leaves the offensive load to emerging scorers and perimeter shooters who must contend with the Lakers' versatile defense. Los Angeles, too, faces roster complications. Gabe Vincent is questionable, and rotation pieces Jackson Hayes, Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Adu Thiero remain unavailable. With Doncic sidelined until early November, the Lakers' offensive orchestration will again rely on secondary playmakers and front-court production. Portland's recent struggles are reflected in their form, dropping their last two games, including a 117-107 loss to the Clippers and a 139-119 loss to the Clippers shootout defeat to Golden State. Despite high scoring from their wings, defensive rebounding and late-game execution have faltered. The Lakers, on the other hand, have won two of their last three, bouncing back from an opening loss to Dallas with victories over Minnesota and Sacramento. Their depth and adaptability have proven critical, particularly in games decided in the fourth quarter. Statistically, the Trailblazers outpace the Lakers offensively with higher scoring output and assist rates, 27.5 to 25.5 per game. But Los Angeles boasts better defensive balance, averaging more blocks, 2.5, and stronger transition containment. Portland's offensive efficiency hinges on fast pace and three-point rhythm, while the Lakers' success flows from half-court discipline and inside-out ball movement. With both teams missing key pieces, bench performance may prove decisive. In the standings context, Portland desperately needs a win to avoid slipping further behind in the Northwest, already 1.5 games back of the lead. The Lakers, tied for second in the Pacific at 2-1, can keep pace with Golden State by defending home court. Early season records matter less for playoff seeding now, but these matchups often foreshadow the tone of future Western Conference battles, where a single victory can later determine postseason positioning. The X factors lie in tempo control and shot selection. If Portland pushes the pace and forces Los Angeles into transition defense, they can exploit the Lakers' injury-depleted rotation. However, the Lakers' superior depth and late-game experience could neutralize that edge. Interior dominance will also matter. With Williams out, the Blazers' frontcourt must hold its own against the Lakers' athletic forwards. Expect Los Angeles to emphasize paint scoring while Portland counters with perimeter volume, setting up a compelling clash of styles that could hinge on efficiency and composure in the final minutes. Ultimately, this matchup tilts toward the Lakers' favor. Analytics give Portland a narrow 56.5% edge on paper, but that projection likely undervalues Los Angeles' home court presence and veteran poise. The Lakers' improved defensive chemistry, coupled with steady offensive contributions from their bench, should outweigh Portland's high-octane but inconsistent attack. Unless the Blazers can rediscover defensive cohesion and get unexpected scoring from role players, the Lakers' balanced approach will prevail. Prediction: Lakers 122, Trail Blazers 116. A competitive but controlled home win that cements Los Angeles as an early Western Conference force, reinforcing their growing identity as a well-rounded, confident team ready to contend. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Los Angeles Lakers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Atlanta Hawks versus Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls return to the United Center riding early season momentum as they host the Atlanta Hawks in an Eastern Conference clash between teams moving in opposite directions. Chicago enters the matchup at 2-0, sitting atop the Central Division with a perfect start fueled by efficient offense and sturdy defense. Atlanta, meanwhile, sits at 1-2, 11th in the East, trying to shake off a rough start despite flashes of promise. The Hawks, led by a young and evolving roster, look to rebound from a narrow loss to Oklahoma City, while the Bulls aim to build on their strong home court rhythm and balanced attack. This meeting marks the first of 3 between the teams this season, and the early implications are meaningful. Chicago seeks to cement itself as a legitimate contender in the East after years of mediocrity, while Atlanta hopes to find consistency amid injuries and lineup changes. The Hawks have been competitive in spurts but inconsistent defensively, giving up 117 points per game through their first 3 contests. Chicago, conversely, has opened with high offensive efficiency, averaging 112.5 points per game on 45.9% shooting, while holding opponents under 105 points in each of its first 2 wins. The matchup inside the paint will be particularly intriguing, as Chicago's rebounding edge, 47.5 boards per game, and front court depth could test Atlanta's interior defense. With Kristaps Porzingis sidelined and both Jalen Johnson and Zachary Risacher listed as game-time decisions, Atlanta may struggle to contain Chicago's versatile forwards and second-chance opportunities. On the perimeter, Atlanta's attack runs through dynamic guard play, blending Trae Young's playmaking with DeJounte Murray's two-way prowess. The Hawks are posting 109.7 points per game on 43.8% shooting, but their three-point inconsistency and defensive lapses have cost them close contests, most notably a 117-100 loss to the Thunder and a high-scoring collapse against Toronto. Chicago's backcourt, led by the emerging Kobe White and new addition Josh Giddey, both game-time decisions, has shown better balance and tempo control. When healthy, Giddey's size and passing vision elevate the Bulls' offense, and his return could give them another layer of creativity against Atlanta's occasionally porous defense. While there are no pitching duels in basketball, the matchup engine in this game clearly lies in tempo control. Atlanta thrives in transition, but has struggled to defend set offenses, allowing opponents to dictate pace. Chicago, more methodical under head coach Billy Donovan, prefers half-court efficiency and defensive stops to create scoring opportunities. The Bulls' 27.5 assists per game highlight their improved ball movement and unselfish approach, while Atlanta's 25.3 assist average shows promise but lacks consistency in late-game execution. Both teams enter with injury concerns that could tip the balance. The Hawks remain without forward Nikola Jurisic, out until October 29, and big man Porzingis, no return timetable, leaving the interior rotations thin. The Bulls are missing forward Zach Collins until mid-November and may rest White to preserve depth, though they've managed to remain sharp defensively despite short rotations. The analytics point slightly toward Atlanta, with a 52.3% win probability, but context tells a different story. Chicago's chemistry, home court energy, and balanced attack make them more reliable early in the season. The Bulls have won 2 straight, including double-digit victories over Orlando and Detroit, while the Hawks have dropped 2 of 3 despite averaging nearly 110 points. Key X factors include Atlanta's shooting rhythm. If Young and Murray get hot from deep, they can neutralize Chicago's defensive edge, and Chicago's rebounding control, particularly if Nikola Vucevic dominates inside. The Bulls' ability to turn defense into offense could decide the outcome, especially against a Hawks team still finding cohesion without its full roster. Ultimately, the Bulls' combination of efficient shot creation, rebounding strength, and veteran leadership should prevail against an Atlanta squad still searching for rhythm. Expect a competitive start before Chicago's half-court poise and defensive intensity separate them late. The Bulls' ability to generate second-chance points and control tempo should prove decisive, especially with DeRozan and Vucevic thriving in mid-range sets. Atlanta's inconsistency defending pick-and-roll actions could further tilt momentum. Prediction: Bulls 114, Hawks 108. Chicago improves to 3-0, solidifying its early grip on the Central Division, while Atlanta slips further behind in a crowded Southeast race that's already showing signs of separation. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Chicago Bulls winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Toronto Raptors versus San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs welcomed the Toronto Raptors to Frostbank Center in a cross-conference battle between two teams heading in opposite directions early in the 2025-26 NBA season. San Antonio enters the night unbeaten at 3-0, riding a wave of youthful energy and defensive dominance to sit atop the Southwest Division. Toronto, meanwhile, is off to a slower 1-2 start, searching for rhythm after back-to-back losses and struggling to close out games despite impressive offensive flashes. The stakes are clear. The Spurs are looking to establish themselves as a legitimate Western Conference contender, while the Raptors aim to avoid slipping further behind early in the Atlantic Division standings. The contrast in narrative is striking. San Antonio has built around a talented young core featuring De'Aaron Fox, who, although sidelined with an injury, has been pivotal in setting the tone, and forward Jeremy Sochan, while Toronto's offense leans heavily on perimeter play and the inside-out combination of Scotty Barnes and R.J. Barrett. For head coach Darko Rajakovic's Raptors, this game represents both a measuring stick and a test of depth against one of the league's hottest early-season teams. Offensively, Toronto has averaged 127.0 points per game, a figure that ranks among the top in the East, fueled by sharp three-point shooting, 53.3%, field goal rate, and unselfish ball movement. Barnes has emerged as an early-season stat sheet stuffer, averaging roughly 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists through 3 games, while Barrett continues to provide wing scoring and playmaking. The Raptors' Achilles heel, however, has been defense, allowing over 120 points per contest, including a 139-129 loss to Dallas just a night earlier. San Antonio, on the other hand, has balanced explosive scoring with elite defensive structure. Averaging 122.5 points per game while holding opponents to under 115, the Spurs have excelled in transition and on the boards, pulling down an impressive 51.4 rebounds per game. Rookie center Victor Wembanyama has been the defensive anchor, averaging close to 3.5 blocks per game, while veteran leadership from Keldon Johnson and efficient guard play from Trey Jones has stabilized the rotation. Even without Fox and Sochan, the Spurs have maintained their identity: disciplined defense, ball sharing, and timely scoring. In terms of recent form, Toronto's inconsistency is evident in its last 5 games, where it has gone 2-3. While its offense has been potent in wins over Milwaukee and Brooklyn, defensive lapses have plagued losses to Dallas and Boston. The Spurs, conversely, are riding a 3-game win streak, including dominant performances against Indiana, 133-104, 124-108, and a gritty overtime win against New Orleans. That momentum, paired with home court advantage, makes San Antonio the clear statistical favorite, reflected in their 61.8% win probability entering this matchup. Injuries could play a decisive role. The Raptors enter fully healthy, a rare luxury this early in the season. The Spurs, however, will be without key contributors. De'Aaron Fox out until November 2nd, and Jeremy Sochan out until November 2nd, while Luke Kornet, Kelly Olynyk, and Lindy Waters III are all game-time decisions. The absence of Fox in particular shifts playmaking duties to Jones and Devin Vassell, whose ability to handle Toronto's length on the perimeter could determine offensive fluidity. Looking at the standings, San Antonio leads the Southwest Division at 3-0, tied with Memphis atop the Western race, while Toronto sits third in the Atlantic behind Philadelphia, 2-0, and New York, 2-1. Early as it is, the Raptors risk slipping 2 full games behind the Sixers with another loss, raising urgency to tighten their rotations and defensive effort. The X factors lie in pace and rebounding. If Toronto can push tempo and exploit the Spurs' shorthanded lineup, particularly attacking mismatches when Wembanyama rests, they could steal momentum. Conversely, if San Antonio dominates the glass and keeps transition points low, their superior half-court efficiency will tilt the game in their favor. Expect Barnes and Barrett to test the Spurs' wing defense, while Wembanyama's rim protection could decide the paint battle. Prediction: San Antonio's balance, home comfort, and defensive discipline make them favorites to extend their unbeaten run. Even without Fox, their system and depth appear well-tuned to contain Toronto's surges. The Raptors' scoring can keep them close, but late-game execution and rebounding will likely betray them again. Expect a tight first half before the Spurs pull away late, taking this 124-115 to move to 4-0 on the season, while Toronto drops to 1-3 in a game that exposes both their offensive promise and defensive fragility. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is the San Antonio Spurs winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Denver Nuggets versus Minnesota Timberwolves, the defending champion. Denver Nuggets travel to Minneapolis for an early season showdown against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a matchup that could foreshadow the battle for Northwest Division supremacy. The Nuggets enter the contest at 1-1, coming off a bounce-back win after an overtime loss, while the Timberwolves sit at 2-1, unbeaten at home and riding the momentum of a strong defensive identity. Both squads are chasing Oklahoma City, which sits atop the division at 3-0, adding early season stakes to what's already shaping up as a physical Western Conference rivalry game. For Denver, this game represents an opportunity to reaffirm its status as the conference's measuring stick. Despite a brief stumble in their home opener, the Nuggets remain a juggernaut offensively, averaging 132 points per game while shooting a blistering 52.5% from the field. Minnesota, on the other hand, has been thriving through balance and defense, holding opponents to 110 points or fewer in 2 of its 3 outings while winning the rebounding battle behind its Twin Tower frontcourt. The contrast is clear. Denver's offensive precision meets Minnesota's defensive toughness in a clash of philosophies that could come down to who dictates tempo inside target center. The Timberwolves' biggest storyline entering the night is the health of star guard Anthony Edwards, who's listed as a game-time decision after dealing with a minor issue. Edwards' ability to attack in transition and generate late-clock offense is vital to Minnesota's rhythm, particularly with rookie guard Rob Dillingham already ruled out. Denver's roster is fully healthy, giving them an edge in continuity and depth. Expect Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. to shoulder more scoring pressure early, allowing Nikola Jokic to orchestrate as the offensive anchor. Statistically, the Nuggets have been elite in nearly every offensive category. Their 132-point average comes with a remarkable 31.5 assists per game, showing how seamlessly their ball movement creates open looks. They've also been opportunistic defensively, averaging 11 steals, an indicator of how their transition offense fuels scoring bursts. Minnesota's efficiency has been more modest at 47.7% shooting and 114 points per game, but their rebounding, 42.5 per contest, and shot blocking, 6.5 per game, give them the kind of rim protection that can disrupt Denver's spacing. Recent trends tell a story of two teams fine-tuning their identities. Denver's last 5 outings have produced 3 wins, including statement victories over Phoenix, 133-111, and the Clippers, 102-94, offset by a high-scoring loss to Golden State in overtime. The Nuggets' offense looks sharp early, but their defensive lapses have shown when opponents push pace. Minnesota's past 5 games include strong wins against Indiana, 114-110, and Portland, 118-114. Though close losses to the Lakers and Bulls reveal concerns in late-game execution. With both squads on one-game winning streaks, momentum is up for grabs. In the broader Northwest Division landscape, Minnesota currently holds second place at 2-1, trailing Oklahoma City by 1.5 games, while Denver sits tied for third. While it's too early to discuss playoff seeding, these head-to-head games carry weight for tiebreakers and mid-season positioning, especially considering these two teams will meet 4 times this season. Depth and injuries could play pivotal roles. With Edwards' status uncertain, the Timberwolves will need increased production from Karl-Anthony Towns and Jaden McDaniels, particularly in generating perimeter scoring and defensive stops against Denver's versatile wings. Mike Conley's veteran steadiness will be tested against Murray's speed and shot creation. Denver's healthy lineup, anchored by Jokic's all-around dominance, gives coach Michael Malone more flexibility in rotations, especially if Minnesota struggles to match up in small ball stretches. The X factors center on paint control, transition efficiency, and late-game execution. If Jokic imposes his will early, drawing double teams and creating open threes for Porter and Murray, Denver's offense could overwhelm Minnesota's defensive schemes. Conversely, if Rudy Gobert and Towns protect the rim effectively and Edwards plays, the Timberwolves' athleticism might swing the momentum with fast break pressure and crowd energy. Prediction: while Minnesota's home court edge and defensive intensity make this matchup compelling, Denver's superior offensive cohesion and full-strength lineup give it the upper hand. Expect Jokic to flirt with a triple-double and the Nuggets to control the tempo down the stretch. Final projection: Denver Nuggets 118, Minnesota Timberwolves 110. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Denver Nuggets winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.